Hello, friends, and welcome to your Friday Pick a Card with me, Intuitive Rene. It's always such an honor and a privilege to be here with you and to bring you content to inspire you and to help you live and lead the best life that you can. So today's Pick a Card is an interesting topic, an interesting kind of thing that's come through from Spirit, and the topic, or the headline, if we can call it that, is gaining clarity. Okay, so it was quite interesting the way that it came about with Spirit, because this morning I do wear glasses. I am in need of them. The eyes don't work so well, but when I record my videos, I generally do it without my glasses because we've got glare and because we've got reflection and because of many reasons. And this morning, when I was preparing to record the video, I kept glasses on, glasses off, glasses on, glasses off. And if you know me, you know that I don't plan and I don't prep. I'm not the kind of person who has a diary of ideas for YouTube or ideas for Pick a Card. I'm not the kind of person who plans weeks, months, or even days ahead. I am a spontaneous, spur of the moment kind of person. I know what day of the week I'm going to record my videos on. That much I've diarized, only so that I have got a slot available in between appointments in order to record the video. But up until that actual time, so if I've allocated myself 10 a.m. in the morning, and just using 10 a.m. as an example, if I've allocated myself 10 a.m. in the morning to do these videos, then literally at maybe 5 past 10, 10 past 10, I go, right, what are we doing? What is the topic? What are the questions? How are we handling this whole scenario? So it's very much, if I can say, Spirit inspired. I don't even know what decks I'm going to use. I don't even know anything about it. So this morning, I sort of, get the camera ready, get the lights ready, do all of that kind of stuff. And then I sit at the table and say, oh, wait, what are we talking about? What is this Pick a Card going to be about? What are the questions? How are we going to choose? Like all of those kind of things. I really sit here quite, I'm going to call it mindless, really, as to what's going to happen. And I just trust the process. I also have this kind of urge to tell you at this point that I don't do a second take on recordings. I don't record and then go, oh no, I didn't like it, delete that and record again. It's a one take kind of story. So when I do Pick a Cards, I record the intro, this part first, and then I stop and I immediately push start again and I record the first and the second and the third, but each one as an individual file, and then I edit the three together. But there's no stopping and starting, there's no deleting bits and taking bits out, unless I truly make a mistake or an airplane flies over or something along those lines. But generally, I make it up as I go. It's one take, it's spontaneous, there's not much prep, there's not much planning. So, it comes across in whichever way that it comes across. So today, as I said, the whole morning, even before I started recording, while I was still consulting with clients, it was glasses on, it was glasses off, glasses on. And then I put the glasses on and suddenly everything looked so bright and everything looked so clear. I was like, oh, wow, glasses are working well today. Then suddenly everything gets blurred. I take the glasses off and suddenly like, oh, everything's clear without the glasses. So I've sort of had this kind of scenario playing out with the glasses today. And then when I sort of sat down and said to Spirit, right, pick a card, what are we doing? The whole scenario around the glasses sort of played out in front of me, and that's when I realized gaining clarity. And sometimes we need things to help us gain clarity, such as the glasses, and sometimes we can see perfectly fine without things in front of our face. So that's the kind of topic, that's the kind of theme behind today's Pick a Card. It's about gaining clarity. What we gaining clarity on at this stage, I don't know. I don't know. So the other thing that was quite interesting is I sort of said to Spirit, right, are we going to do number 1, 2, and 3 like I have done for years in my Pick a Cards, or do I need to bring out objects for you to choose an object? And Spirit was like, no, take out a deck of cards. Like, I didn't understand it. But anyway, I now understand it. So on the table here in front of me, as you can see, I have 2 decks. I have the Everyday Enchantment Tarot and I have the Field Tarot. So the Field Tarot is one that it's been open on my desk for a couple of days now. It's one that I'm working with quite a lot this week. Purely, well, there's many reasons. It's beautiful, it's gorgeous, it's amazing. The artwork is quite different from a traditional tarot, but I love the colors, I love the color palettes, and I love the art itself. So to me, this is a deck I bought for the art itself. There is an oracle deck that is being created at the moment. It is up on Kickstarter. So if you are watching this and you love this particular tarot deck, and you maybe have this particular tarot deck, do go and check out the Familiar Field Oracle, which is out on Kickstarter. Oh, my heart is so there. I am so there. If it wasn't for the crazy shipping, the deck, I think, on Kickstarter is $48, which is not too bad for an independent deck, but the shipping to get to me is $41. I can't, I can't. It's not that I can't afford it, but I can't warrant that kind of money on shipping. So we'll wait for it to come out mass market. But anyway, I digress. We're getting clarity, or maybe we're not. So I've got the Field Tarot, and I have got the Everyday Enchantment Tarot. So the Field Tarot is going to be our main working deck today. It's the one that's going to answer the questions and give us the guidance. So for that reason, I'm going to stick it just out of view for a minute. And I want to bring Everyday Enchantment into view. So Everyday Enchantment is a massive deck. It's huge. This is actually a trimmed version. It's one that I have removed the huge borders from. But it really is, it's a modern deck. It depicts modern day scenarios, modern day situations. And Spirit basically want me, because we're gaining clarity, they want me to use this deck to pick the topics, the specifics, if I can say, for the pick a card readings today. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to shuffle this deck, and I am going to choose 3 cards. Okay, so while I'm talking, let's start the shuffling process. So I'm going to shuffle, and I'm going to draw, choose, grab, pick up, whatever it may be, just 3 cards from this deck, and those 3 cards are going to give us the life situations, the life stories, the examples, the themes, however you want to call it, that are going to be relevant for the 3 readings. So basically the question, or what I'm looking for from here, is the situation. So we're looking at the overall theme of the pick a card today is gaining clarity. From this deck, we're looking for the 3 situations that we need to gain clarity on. So I have shuffled. I'm going to leave them alone for a second. At this point, friend, I want you to think to yourself, when you do my pick a cards, and my pick a cards are a little bit different to everybody else's, do you always go for the first, the second, or the third? Are you always normally drawn to that? But before we identify the situations that we're gaining clarity on, is there something on your mind? Is there something happening in your life that you would like clarity on? I want you at this point, before I even reveal the cards, before we even choose the cards, I want you to ask yourself, are you struggling with a particular area in your life? Are you struggling with a particular situation? Just have that kind of thought in mind while you watch me choose, and see if the one that you're drawn to actually is the same situation as what you're thinking about. And if it's not, you're going to have to try and see if you can pick up the link. Okay, so I'm looking for 3 situations that we want to gain clarity on, 3 different aspects, situations, and circumstances that we may need clarity on in our lives right here and right now. Right, so cards are shuffled. Just do that. I'm going to cut the deck over there, and we're going to take 1. I'm going to move it now in a second. 2 and 3. Right, so that's all I am using that deck for. So we just get it in a way so that you can see. So now we're going to have a look at what are the situations. What are the situations that we need to gain clarity on? So I'm going to call this, just for now, for want of a better phrase, 1, 2, and 3. But once we've revealed them and once we've looked at them, it's going to be whatever the situation is, situation and situation. So let's have a look and see what Spirit have got for us today. So our first situation, these cards. So it is the card of Strength. Okay, which is a major arcana card. I mean, but just look at her. Isn't she gorgeous? So first of all, you can see that she is disabled, but she's not disabled. How many of us able-bodied people are disabled in our mind, with our thinking, with our fears, with our insecurities, with our doubts, with our anxieties? She is physically disabled, but she is really embracing all that life has to offer. She has got her aid. She has got somebody there to help her and guide her. I mean, she is on the worst kind of I'm going to call it ground that a wheelchair could be on, but she's not letting it hold her back. She's not letting it stop her. So situation number one is your inner strength. So you're struggling with something and you're battling to find a way out of it. You're battling to find a way around it. So if that is your situation that you're dealing with right now, this is going to be the reading for you. Let's have a look at situation number two. Situation number two. Oh, wow. So here we have the Nine of Blades, and for those of you who like to know the traditional tarot interpretation, Nine of Blades is the Nine of Swords. She's even got a razor blade as a necklace there. I mean, look at that. She's got her trusty companion. She's got her dog. We have got a bottle of pills as well, which is not always a good thing. But look at her. She's like saying, I don't want to know. I don't want to look. I can't. Okay. So I am going to say to you, friends, that there are similarities here, but actually they're not. Because here it's about a physical restriction, something that is physically, that you think is physically stopping you from achieving something, whereas here it's all about the mental. Okay, so this is about the anxiety, whereas this is about a physical struggle that you may be having. So they struggles, sure, they struggles, but we're gonna get clarity on them in absolutely. And now let's have a look at struggle. I say struggle number three. That's hopefully not what it is. Let's have a look and see what our situation number three is that Spirit wants us to work with today. I love that. I love that. You know, I'm quite blown away right now, because again, the synchronicities of how my day goes in preparing for this. So I, some time back, was in communications with a tarot creator. He's a local South African tarot creator, and he created or put together a deck of cards that I love. I've got it. You can't see my hand pointing just over there. It is the CS Tarot, and it's created by, as I said, a local South African. He prints internationally, so anybody can buy. It is an amazing, amazing, amazing deck. And we had a little bit of interactions, and it's funny enough, I actually reached out to him yesterday just to say hi. And I was thinking about him, so he had sent me a gift. And this gift that he sent me it was just so amazing. So again, if you know tarot, if you know your traditional Rider-Waite-Smith tarot, the High Priestess is always depicted as this lady. This is what the card looks like. And the creator of CS Tarot, he created this for me, and he put my name there in Pixie's font. Pixie is the artist who created this particular deck. So to me, this is so special. This is just so wonderful. And before I started recording today, I was trying to get this to display on the table over there, because I wanted to display it. I wanted to show it off, and I just couldn't get it to look nice. So eventually I gave up and just stuck it on the table. And then the universe says, you know what, you've got to display your High Priestess. So High Priestess. So I'm blown away a little bit. This is like I'm going to call it a confirmation for me, and also just again a reminder for you of how spontaneous these things are, and how I actually am not in control of these pick a card readings. I'm just the voice. I am just the person who gives you something to look at. But everything that comes through in these readings is definitely spirit inspired. So what is the High Priestess? The High Priestess is about your intuition. It's about your inner knowing. It's about trusting yourself and understanding that you have all the information, knowledge, and inspiration that you need to achieve anything that you desire. All right. So we have got our three situations, our three topics for gaining clarity. We have got about overcoming physical issues, recognizing your inner strength and how strong you are, and how nothing can hold you back on a physical level to achieve the things that you want to. We have got overcoming anxiety, stress, and inner problems and situations. And then we've also got gaining clarity around our intuition and our connection with spirit. There you have it, friends. So do any of these, all of these, sort of appeal to you? Is this something that you are worrying about, thinking about, working through in your own life at the moment? If it is, you know exactly which of the pick a card readings is going to be for you. You know which one you need to listen to. Maybe you need to listen to them all, because our situations are different. What I have for you around these situations is I have got 6 questions. I'm going to do a 6-card spread, a 6-card reading, to help us gain the clarity on these situations that we need. So now that you know how to pick your situation, your reading, let's get straight into it. If this is the first time that you're doing a pick a card with me or with anybody, if you open up the description box below on YouTube, there will be timestamps. And basically, I'll have a timestamp for each of these three, and you can just click straight onto it and it'll take you straight to that portion of the video. So for example, if obviously you've chosen this first one, just keep watching because it'll go straight into it. But if you've chosen either of these two, you can use the timestamps to jump straight to those readings. The other thing I want to say to you is this particular reading is timeless. In other words, there's no time in the future where it no longer is relevant. This particular reading, this particular video will be relevant all the time. So anytime you feel like you need clarity on something, come back, because you may start off watching this one today, but in a month's time, in a week's time, whenever it may be, a year's time, 2 years time, you may need to be or wanting to find some clarity on this particular situation. So you can always come back anytime you need to find some clarity. Come back and see which of these three has what it is that you're looking for. All right, friends, so I'm going to stop babbling and we're going to get straight into gaining clarity on your strength. Right, so welcome to those of you who have chosen, I don't know if I want to say reading number one, or if you've chosen the situation strength as the situation that you need to gain clarity on today. Welcome. If you've arrived here because you always choose the first of the three options in my pick cards, please, today's a little bit different. Please go back to the intro and just see why this is the clarity that you're needing to gain today. So if you don't know why this card is here, you need to go back to the intro. For the rest of us, let's get into your reading. So here I have the Field Tarot. I'm going to give it a shuffle. So I have shuffled before I obviously started recording because this particular deck has been on my table for a couple of days. But I do like to shuffle while I have your attention. And as I said earlier on, so I've got 6 questions, or I'm doing a 6-card spread around gaining clarity, and the situation that we're gaining clarity on is the Strength card over there from the Everyday Enchantment Tarot. So the first question, well, actually, I'm just going to shuffle the cards. I'm going to lay out the 6, and then we will turn them over and look at them, because otherwise it's just going to take too long if I do 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. So let's just, whoopsie, give the cards a nice shuffle, and I'm going to lay out the 6 cards. So this is for all of you who have chosen the Strength card for the reading. So let's just actually, I love that. Oh, look at this artwork. Isn't it just gorgeous? So card number 1 that we have is the Chariot. I'm hoping that they're all going to fit. They are indeed. We have got 6. Right. Deck is out of the way. I'm sorry, we've got a little bit of glare. These cards are not overly glossy, so the glare shouldn't be a problem when I turn it over. So friends, what we've got over here, our first card that we're looking at is the card of the Chariot, and as you can see, we've got this beautiful black and white horse. You can see that they're on a path, and we've got a full moon. The question here, or the spread, the position in the tarot spread is the situation from your point of view. This is the situation. So let's just go back to our situation. Our situation is overcoming obstacles. Our situation is finding the strength, the courage, and the confidence to overcome obstacles. The situation from your point of view is that you feel as if it's just never ending. And I say that because we've got the Chariot card. The Chariot is the card of movement. It's a card of progress. It's the card of journey, okay? The Chariot is saying to you that there is progress happening all the time, but you may be not fully aware of the progress. The Chariot is the card that says, you know, sometimes we focus on the final end result of the destination, of the goal, the finish line, instead of actually appreciating and enjoying the journey. So what I want to say to you here with these, and just to bring these two into perspective here, the situation is overcoming obstacles, overcoming challenges, digging deep within yourself on a physical level to find the courage and the confidence to do the things that you need to do. The situation from your point of view is that you feel as if it is never ending. You feel as if it is just ongoing, 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 ongoing. So sometimes when you feel like there's no end in sight, when you feel like you're not actually going anywhere or achieving anything, sometimes there's this temptation to pull out, withdraw, and to stop, to exit. And this is Spirit saying to you that maybe we shouldn't be doing that. Maybe we shouldn't be losing focus and giving up, before we've actually, taken stock of where we are and what we're achieving, because actually we're stronger than we realize and we're more capable than we realize. But from your point of view, you're maybe just misjudging it ever so slightly. And the next thing that we want to have a look at is the next card across, which is that was the situation from your point of view, and this is the situation from the other point of view. So it's not about a right or a wrong point of view, it's about your point of view or then the other point of view. Okay, so the situation from your point of view is that you feel as if it's never ending. You feel as if like you just don't know if you're actually achieving anything or going anything. But the truth of the matter is, I love this. You know what? I mean, first of all, just look how beautiful this artwork is. It really is just absolutely stunning. But it is the card of the devil. It is a major arcana. Now, friends, I want to just, at this point, I am going to explain the devil card, obviously, to you now. But I want to just point out that the three cards that we have on the table at the moment are all major arcana cards, which is confirmation from spirit that this situation that you find yourself in, this situation that you're looking to gain clarity on, is a big thing. It's not about little day-to-day kind of scenarios. It's not that simple. Okay, we're talking about something substantial. We're talking about something quite big in your life at the moment. So again, the devil card that we have, the devil is the card of temptation. It's the card of obsessions. It's the card of where we're focusing, and are we focusing on the right things or are we focusing on the wrong things? It's also the card of saying that sometimes it's okay to deviate from your path as long as you're being true to yourself. Now, when I look at these two cards over here with regards to gaining clarity, and from your point of view, and then from everybody else's point of view, these two cards here are basically saying to you, from your point of view, it feels like it's continuous. It feels like it's never ending. It feels like you just don't ever, like when you're running on a treadmill. The treadmill tells you that you've done X number of kilometers or X distance, but actually you haven't gone anywhere. That's what the Chariot feels like for you in the situation that you're dealing with. This devil card is telling you it's because you're allowing yourself. Okay, you're allowing yourself to see that. You're allowing yourself to think that you have got a programming or a condition in your mind that is actually limiting and restricting you. You are not allowing yourself to see the true truth behind what you have accomplished, what you haven't accomplished, what you're capable of, and what you're not capable of. So you're seeing yourself as being disabled and stuck in a chair, as opposed to seeing yourself living your best life, celebrating your best life, and just enjoying whatever it is that's there for you. So it's a change of perspective, and it's a change of mind, if I can put it that way, that will help you to be strong, to be capable, and to overcome the challenges, the physical challenges and obstacles that are plaguing you right now. So the devil card is saying, what is it that you're focusing? What is it that you are thinking on? So remember, this is from your point of view, and this is from the other point of view. Because from your point of view, it's just this long, continuous road that just feels never ending. But the truth of the matter is, it's how you see it, it's how you perceive it. All right. Our third card that we have over here has got to do with dominant factors that you need to take into consideration around gaining clarity on this situation. So what is something that you need to be made aware of? What is something that is a truth that you need to be aware of in this situation? I love this. We've got the Prince of Wands. And I mean, you can see, I love the fact that he's holding his flame stick. His wand, that he's holding it, but he's holding it sort of up here, if I can put it that way, which is almost making him bigger, making him feel larger, but also making him feel more superior. So he's looking forward. Okay, so he's looking into the future, he's looking ahead, he's looking forward, he's not looking back, he's not looking at where he's come from, he's focusing on the journey in front of him. The key phrase attached to this one is instigation. So when we look at this card, and let me just put it there, you can see the glare's not too bad. So the dominant factor that you need to be aware of in overcoming any challenges, obstacles, or limitations is the fact that if you are, again, looking at your current predicament, your current situation, whatever is currently worrying you or holding you back or preventing you from living your best life, you're not going to be moving forward. But a dominant factor to be aware of is, are you looking ahead? Are you moving? Constantly moving in a forward direction and allowing yourself to see the open road in front of you and to see that there are no obstacles. But again, The devil card is the one that's telling you you need to be focused. You need to not allow yourself to see things that are not actually there. So be honest with yourself. And if you need to hold your light higher up, if you need to, make your torch bigger in order to see the truth, then that's exactly what you need to do. All right. Now we're going to move on to our next one. So this is card number 4, and this is a hidden truth or a hidden obstacle. So this is a dominant factor that you need to know about, and this is something that you maybe can't see or that you're not aware of. This is a hidden truth or even a hidden obstacle that is maybe contributing to the struggle that you're going through at the moment. And what we have here is another major arcana card, and it is the card of the moon. The moon is about facing our fears. It's about our insecurities, but it's also about recognizing the cycles, So there she stands in the middle of the night. That moon behind her is just absolutely exquisite. I love the fact that she's holding a bouquet. So let's just understand the bouquet that she's holding in her hands. When in our lives do we hold bouquets? So the first thing that comes to me is obviously a bride holds a bouquet at her wedding day, and what does the bouquet represent? It represents purity. It represents innocence. It represents, honesty, truth, and integrity. It represents that fragile, sensitive self that is about to blossom, that is about to bloom, that is about to become its full potential. And I think that's exactly what the moon is. But again, if you're feeling insecure, if you're not feeling strong enough, if you're not feeling capable, because that's what the strength card is, about strength and capabilities. If you're not feeling like you can, it is going to be a limiting factor. It's also interesting as well that I'm suddenly noticing these two cards are both got darkness in the background, night sky, full moon. These two have got similar backgrounds. These two have got similar backgrounds. So there's and isn't this card about the opposites of that? It's about knowing the physical restrictions and things that you have no control over, and those things that you do have control over, and recognizing which one you're going to focus on, which one is going to give you courage and strength to move forward, and which one is actually a limiting belief. So back to this one, this is about a hidden truth or a hidden obstacle around your current situation that you need to gain clarity on. And the moon card is basically saying to you that this is an inner fear that you have, an inner insecurity that you have that is sort of coming to the fore, that is coming to the surface, that you need to process. And you have to display your vulnerability. You have to show your vulnerable side instead of always appearing to be tough, because that's what we're doing there. We're putting on a brave face, but notice he's turned his face away so nobody can see his face. It's almost like he's hiding his true identity in appearing strong, capable, and confident. But the truth is he's feeling rather insecure and rather nervous. All right. And finally, not finally, because there's two more. I'll get the right words eventually. Card number 5, the question we have is what you need to know or understand around this situation. And the card that we have here is the 8 of Cups. And the 8 of Cups, you can see the keyword across the bottom here, and the 8 of Cups is retreat. The 8 of Cups is about recognizing that wherever you are, whatever you're doing, whatever you're facing, whatever you're going through, it's never going to be what you want it to be. It's never going to be what you hoped or what you expected it to be. And, sometimes we have to recognize that it's okay if your current situation isn't perfect. It's okay to admit that you're not happy. And it's okay to recognize that you can move away from that. So again, interesting that it's landed directly under the devil, because the devil is about the things that we hold on to, the focus on, the things that we think are important and relevant and significant. So what I'm going to say to you with this 8 of Cups, the Spirit saying to you, this particular challenge, this particular situation that you find yourself in at the moment, that you've come here to gain clarity on, it's one where you're having to overcome obstacles, overcome challenges, overcome restrictions and limitations in your own life. And something that you need to know is that maybe you can't fix it. Maybe you can't adjust it. Maybe you can't make the situation into whatever it is that you want it to. And sometimes admitting that, recognizing that, realizing that is what you need to do, and then allow yourself to move on. When you stay in a situation that is difficult and uncomfortable for you, it never gets easier. It never changes. It stays as it is. And sometimes the whole journey, the whole purpose behind this experience is to have this realization and this recognizing that it isn't what you hoped it would be, and it's not ever going to be. All right. Now I can say it. And finally, what we have here is the best way for you to proceed. the best way for you to proceed, and we have another major arcana card, and it is the card of the Emperor. So this is, again, Emperor is about strength, it's about tenacity, it's about courage, it's about conviction, but it's also about making the rules that suit you, making the rules that fit in with your life requirements and expectations, and not allowing other people to put you in a corner, kind of thing. So friends, let's just do a recap here, because now I've gone through the 6 cards, but now let's put it all into context, and let's put it all together and see exactly what is the message that's coming through from Spirit for you here. We need to gain clarity on a situation in your life that is feeling restrictive, limiting, where you don't know if you are strong enough to deal with it, to overcome it, or to work through it. It feels like it's a never-ending cycle, but you are focusing on the wrong aspects of it. You're focusing on the parts that you can't change, the parts that are not really suitable to you. The dominant factors here is that you are doing your best. You are trying your best. You are, trying to manipulate, create, and instigate, because that's the key word that we have here, the situation to make it better. So you're doing everything in your power to improve. You're doing everything in your power to make it better. The truth of the matter is, though, you just really don't feel like you can. You just really don't feel as if you are that strong enough or that capable. And it's your own insecurities and your own fears and doubts that are really holding you back. Sometimes we have to just recognize what it is that you need to know and understand, that maybe it's time. Maybe it's time to, and I'm going to use these words casually, admit defeat. Maybe it's time to recognize that, I just don't belong here, and this isn't my situation. This isn't what I signed up for, and this isn't what I need, want, and desire in my life. And this is all about setting new rules, setting new targets, and setting new ambitions, but being confident enough in yourself that you don't feel like you have to stick with what anybody else is saying or what anybody else is doing. So this Emperor card is about recognizing and almost releasing your own inner power, because as I see him with his head up, and the mouth open, and I can almost hear the howl, it's about releasing that inner power, releasing your inner strength, and realizing that you don't have to conform or follow in anybody else's rules and regulations. It's about realizing that you can color outside the lines, that you don't have to be the same as everybody else, that it's okay if you are strong in one area and not strong in another. Focus on what your strengths are and don't focus on what your limitations and your restrictions are. I love that. I absolutely love that. And I mean, just look at her face. I mean, she really is living her best life, isn't she? She is dancing like she's never danced before, and she's happy. She's content. I mean, could she be happier? Sure. Would she be happier if she was able-bodied? Of course, but that's not what's in question here. What's in question here is how you perceive and how you respond to your situation. So friends, I hope I've helped you gain a bit of clarity in your life. I hope I've helped you understand what to do around a situation that's causing you a little bit of difficulties in your life right now. So I hope it has helped. I hope it gives you just the nudge, the push, the shove, the inspiration that you need to make some changes. As always, with love and blessings from my heart to yours. Until we connect again, take care. Hello and welcome to those of you who chose the 9 of Blades, or the Anxiety Nightmare card. I know that sounds awful, like who would choose that? But for those of you who chose this, welcome. Hopefully we can clear this stress and anxiety from your life. If you're wondering what on earth Rene is on about, if you're wondering what I am talking about, that means you did not watch the intro of this particular video. So please do rewind and go back to the intro, because we're doing things a little bit differently as we do on this channel. And we are basically allowed this tarot deck or spirit to give us the situations that we are gaining clarity on today. And the situation that we are gaining clarity in this particular reading, number 2, is the 9 of Blades. Let's just have a look at this card. So you can see that there is stress, you can see that there is worry, you can see that there is anxiety in this particular card. And this is what we are gaining clarity on. What is causing your stress and anxiety? What is causing you to stay up all night? What is causing you difficulties? I'm going to leave it at that, all right? Because I don't want to say too much. We're going to let the reading give us the information that we need. So 9 of Blades is staying there. If you know why you are here because you chose this on purpose, then welcome. Let's get straight into your reading and see. So on the table here, I have the Field Tarot. I have obviously shuffled the Field Tarot before I started recording, but I do like to give just a little shuffle while I have your attention, while we're on camera. So just to give it a little shuffle, I am going to do a 6-card spread. So I'm going to lay out 6 cards, and then we're going to turn them over and do the reading to gain the clarity that is needed in understanding where your stress and your anxiety and your inner turmoil is coming from and what you can do about it. All right. So apparently that card, nope, I'm going to stick them back in because there's lots of them and it was just me being a bad shuffler. So let's just give a proper reset shuffle, as I call it, because I did drop some. Pick the cards up, push them together, right, and one more. Okay, done. Cutting the deck over there, and I'm going to lay out 6 cards, hopefully nice and straight on camera, just so that there is a little bit of a glare, but it's only bad because of the light color of the card. When I turn the card over, the glare is not so bad. These are not glossy cards, so they're nice and matte, which means that they work well with the lighting that I use for recording. So friends, we have got our situation. Okay, this is the situation that we're trying to gain clarity on. So we're trying to understand where our stress and our anxiety and our fear and our panic comes from, and is it warranted? What do we do with it? How do we work through it? What is the reason for it? All of that kind of thing. So what we're going to have, that is the situation that this whole reading is about. We're going to look at card number 1 over here, and card number 1 is the situation from your point of view. So your thinking, rationale, or reasoning behind the stress that you are experiencing right now. And from your point of view, look at that determination. We've got the Prince of Swords. Prince of Swords, determination is the key word, which means that you are so focused and you are so determined to overcome, to work through, to deal with. It's quite interesting because I've had quite a few conversations recently with clients who are so eager, and I use that word on purpose, to do self-healing, to work on themselves, to improve themselves, to overcome, their own, what they think are their limiting self-beliefs and things like that. And the anxiety and the stress from your point of view is determination. It means that you are so determined to not let this hold you back. You're so determined to do whatever is needed, whatever is necessary to overcome this, so that this doesn't hold you back or limit or restrict you in living the life that you want. So sometimes we can be so headstrong, because that's what I get with him. Okay, sometimes we could be so headstrong in overcoming our problem that actually we've created a whole nother issue that we're not even aware of. Now let's see. So that is the situation from your point of view. This is the situation from the other point of view. So these two will understand the way that you see it and the way that it, I don't want to say the way that it is, but just the other point of view. And it's interesting to compare the two and see them. Okay, 8 of Swords, and 8 of Swords' key word is isolation. So the 8 of Swords in traditional tarot is a very interesting card, because in the 8 of Swords, we've got a lady. She's typically standing and she's blindfolded, and she's got sort of like, I'm going to call it a rope or a ribbon or a something wound around her. And then she's also surrounded by all these swords that seem to be holding her captive. Okay, but it's again about the mind, because actually she's not being held captive. She's actually being held safe. So sometimes safety can feel like you're being held captive, but it also sometimes feels like you're just abandoned and there's no support and there's nobody there. So the interesting thing is that these, to me, I'm going to call them opposite, okay? Because to me, I would have actually, I don't say I would have preferred them, but I expected them to be that way around. I expected to see them swap locations. We're looking at your inner stress, your anxiety, your fears. We're looking at the inner struggle that you're having with yourself at the moment. When I look at this, it tells me, from your point of view, you're putting on a brave face. From your point of view, you're like, I'm strong and I'm capable and I can do this. You wake up every morning and you put your warrior paint on, okay? You put your mask on and you go like, right, I can do this. But internally, you're feeling like you're completely on your own, and you're feeling like nobody's there for you, and nobody understands, and nobody supports, and nobody gets it. So you have to be stronger, braver, and more focused and more determined, because you feel as if you're completely abandoned and completely on your own. But actually, I think it's because you're choosing to be so super confident and so strong, the appearance of confidence and strong, that you're not letting anybody in to help you. So the isolation is actually something that you've created for yourself. So by keeping people out, and you know what, as somebody who, we all struggle from, we all struggle from I don't want to call it mental issues, because that sounds terrible, but we all have our moments where things are just too much, where things are just overwhelming, where we struggle to function on a normal day. I think we'd all be quite surprised if we actually knew how many people struggle on a daily basis to function. And those of you watching this right now, you've come here for a reason, to gain clarity, to gain understanding on something. But I think these two cards is really Spirit saying to you, you don't have to be so brave. You don't have to put on such an appearance. You don't have to pretend, okay? If you actually let your own defenses down, people will come through to help you. And when I say people coming to help you, it might be a therapist, it may be a friend, it may be even a foe who, if you see them as a foe, there's a lesson for them. Okay, they have a lesson for you, I should say. But if we don't let our barriers down, and if we don't let people in, we're not going to change our perspective. So it's interesting. Your point of view, the other point of view. The other point of view is that you are isolating yourself from everybody because you're thinking you need to be this person when actually you're struggling. And it's okay. It's okay to struggle. It's okay to admit that. It's okay to show vulnerability. All right. Dominant factor that you need to be aware of in this particular situation. So a dominant factor that you're dealing with, that you're dealing with in this situation, we have change. So what I love about this particular artwork is that we have this mirror image, but it's almost like the inverted opposite of it. So we've got equal portions, we've got exactly the same image, but it's just inverted. So it's like they're complete total opposites of each other. There's no gradual transition. We've got this solid line here that is saying, bam, the change is there, okay? The Two of Discs in traditional tarot is the Two of Pentacles, which is about finding balance, finding your flow, finding your courage, and finding your strength. So a dominant factor that you need to know about is that you are changing. Your situation is changing. There is evolution taking place within you. So we're not talking on a global scale. We're talking you, just you. There is change taking place. This is what you're going through. This is what you're feeling right now. But you need to understand the dominant factor at play right here and right now is one of evolution, is one of change. And it's difficult to find how much of that and how much of that. Because one thing I know for absolute certainty is we don't want to let go of either of those. All right? We don't want to stop putting on that warrior face, and we don't want to stop. Well, we don't want to take our boundaries down. Okay? It's about finding that mix, but understanding and recognizing that finding that mix today might be great, might be easy, might be simple, but that mix may be different tomorrow. So we need to be ever changing. We need to be ever evolving, and we need to be constantly reevaluating and readjusting ourselves in the situation so that we don't ever feel overwhelmed, completely overwhelmed. All right. Number 4. So that was a dominant factor that you need to be aware of. And what we have here is a hidden truth or a hidden obstacle that you're not aware of. And what we have here is a major arcana card of Temperance. And you know what? That one and this one, like, it's almost same. The artwork is obviously very different, but the interpretation and the meaning. Temperance is about finding balance in your life. So here she sits. It looks like she's sitting on the beach. Here we have the ocean in front of her, and then we have the skyline. And she's sitting there, and she's got these cups in her hand. We don't know what they contain, but it's almost like she's saying, right, where's my balance? Where's my balance? Let's put a little bit more in here and take a little bit more out there. Oh, wait, that was too much. So Eva's like really, really subtle adjustments until she finds her balance. And this is what you need to do. So a hidden truth or obstacle that you need to be aware of is that finding your balance, like I just said about that change card, it's a continuous process. Just when you think you've got it right, another drop of water lands in and suddenly the balance is out, and we have to be constantly realigning ourselves. One alignment is never enough. And it's interesting, I had a conversation with a client also in the last couple of days before recording this video, and we were talking about energy healing. And the question she asked me was, she had been for an energy treatment and she walked out of there feeling amazing, like amazing. But within half an hour of receiving her treatment, she was feeling even worse than before she went in. And she asked me why. Why does that happen? Because she's experienced that on a couple of occasions with different healers. So it's not the person giving the healing, it's her. And what Spirit gave her, the explanation that Spirit gave her, is we need to understand that when we find our balance, when we find our equilibrium, it only takes one grain of sand to completely throw everything out. So when you walk out of a healing treatment, at that moment, because you've just been aligned, everything is fabulous. But you get in your car and you drive off, and suddenly somebody cuts you off in traffic. And just that one act, you might go like and say something and then get back onto your driving, feeling like you've handled it, feeling like you've got it all figured out. But actually your equilibrium is out, completely out. And then the next person cuts you off, and then you can't find a parking, and then life happens, and suddenly we are no longer aligned. So everything in life is temporary. Everything in life needs to be constantly reevaluated, aligned, and worked on. And we must never just expect other people to own that and do that for us. We need to take ownership of our own equilibrium, and it's something that you need to be doing on a regular basis, is finding your balance and understanding that your balance is going to be different to everybody else's, and that's okay. All right. So just because somebody else can have one treatment and be fine forever doesn't mean that it has to be like that for you, because you're complex. Okay. You've got a lot of things going on. They may be not. All right. Our next card in our spread is to answer the question of what you need to know and understand right now around your situation. So what do you need to know and understand right now? I love that. The Empress card, another major arcana card. But I mean, so here we have this beautiful white lioness. Isn't she, first of all, absolutely gorgeous? Of course, yes. But she also, the strength that she has, the inner strength that she has, the physical strength that she has, the tenacity, her ability to not give up, her ability to fight to the death, her ability to be gentle enough. I mean, when she carries her lion cubs from one place to another, I want to die when I see how they, stick the babies in their mouth and carry them. It looks so rough, but actually it's incredibly gentle. So what do you need to know and understand right now is that this is who you are. This is who you are. You are the lioness. You have this ability to take care, to nurture, to love, to be kind, to be gentle, but also to be rough when necessary, to be aggressive when necessary, to fight when necessary. Doesn't mean you go out there looking for it, but understanding that that's who you are. But you've got to, when you start recognizing your abilities and recognizing your strength and work towards finding your balance, everything becomes easy. This is hard. Okay, being this person all the time is like mission impossible. Okay, being this person, trying to be so brave and so strong and so focused and so determined and so ambitious, and like I'm exhausted just saying all of that. It's hard work. Navigating everything on your own and being isolated from everybody else is hard work, but working as a team, working within a group in a pack, taking care of and doing things one at a time, one by one. And also I want to say succumbing to the moment, just being in that moment, not thinking about tomorrow, not thinking about yesterday. What are my needs right here and right now? That's the only thing that you need to be focusing on. So what do you need to know and understand right now is that you are the lioness. Find your inner lioness and let your inner lioness out so that you're not so stressed and so anxious and so worried around the things that are going on in your head. Okay. And finally, friends, our last card in our reading today is the best way for you to proceed. So we've understood the situation. Now, what is the best way for you to proceed? Look at that. We have the Six of Discs, generosity. Six of Discs in traditional tarot would be your Six of Pentacles. And the Six of Pentacles is about helping others. It's about being a support system for others. It's about being there for others and guiding others. So what is the best way for you to succeed? It's about asking for help too. It's about giving the help. Now, I always say with the Six of Pentacles, whenever that card comes up in a reading, I always say, you know what, being generous, being kind, being nurturing, being, giving is wonderful, and it's a quality that I think we all strive to be and strive to do and strive towards. But the truth of the matter is, in this particular instance, money is the object, okay? So the person who is being generous, they have an excess of money. So they walk around dishing out money to anybody who has a handout because the assumption is that everybody wants money, that money makes everything better. But in your particular case, you may not need money. Money may not be what you have a shortage of. Money may not be what is causing your stress and your anxiety. What may be causing your stress and your anxiety is the lack of support. So money is not going to help you. Money is not going to make your problem go away. So in this particular instance, what is it that you need to do is you need to recognize the help that you need, not the assumption of what you think. Okay, you need to recognize the help that you need, and you also need to recognize how much of yourself are you giving that you shouldn't be giving. So it's about, I'm going to call it, being honest with yourself around what is causing your stress and your anxiety. It's about being honest with yourself around what it is that has got you feeling this way. Are you feeling this way because you give and give and give, and it seems like it's not appreciated, accepted, or warranted? Or are you on the receiving end of something that you don't want? So that is the action that you need to take. It's about being honest with yourself around what you are giving and what you are receiving in relation to your needs, wants, and desires. Instead of pretending, instead of defending, and in trying to find this balance, this is something that you just have to do. There's just no way around that. You cannot avoid that in any way. But I do think this is Spirit saying to you, let's be truthful with ourselves around the giving and the receiving. Let's be truthful with ourselves around our needs, wants, and desires, and what you have in excess, what you have available. And don't give any part of yourself that you do not have excess of. So energy, time, attention, those kind of basics. If you don't have excess time, stop promising people that you will help them. If you don't have excess energy, stop saying to people, sure, we can stay out until 2 a.m. in the morning. Don't feel bad to say, listen, I actually want to be home by 9 a.m. 9 p.m. Gosh, I want to be home by 9 p.m. because I got to get up early in the morning and I need a good 8 hours sleep. Don't be afraid to be honest with yourself and with the people in your life. Don't pretend that you've got it all figured out, because clearly you haven't. Clearly you haven't. So friends, I hope that I have helped you gain clarity on the areas in your life that are problematic and what you can do to overcome it and what you can do to improve and to make it easier and better for yourself. I hope that this helps you. I really do. And come back to it and listen to it whenever you need. Remind yourself of the truth anytime you need it. With love and blessings from my heart to yours. And until we connect again, take care. Hello and welcome to those of you who chose the High Priestess as the situation that you need clarity on in your life right now. If you're wondering what on earth I'm talking about, that means that you've come to this portion of the video because you always choose number 3 in my pick a card readings. And this might not be the actual reading that you need, hear right now. So please do go back to the intro and just see what it's all about, because this particular bundle is all about the High Priestess, and this is the situation that we need clarity on. So for those of you who are here because you did watch the intro and you chose this situation, welcome. So let's talk about the High Priestess for a second. So the High Priestess is the card of intuition. It's the card of understanding. It's the card of knowing that you contain all the information you have, all the information that you need in order to, you know, just understand life and just to be better. I love how she's got this candle glowing behind her. I love how we have a sneaky little fox who is getting up to mischief. We have a bag of garbage, a bag of rubbish. So there's parts of ourselves that we've chosen to throw out. There's parts of ourselves that we're a little bit sneaky. We've also got this little playful kitty cat here who is pouncing on something, who is taking advantage. We've got this other cat here that's sort of looking on. And then here we have this book. Here is her bag. Okay, so she's got her belongings with her. And here at her feet is this book of knowledge, this book of inspiration. But look at her. She feels like, she looks like she's a little bit lost, doesn't she? She looks and feels as if she's a little bit like she's pondering and she's thinking and she's wondering about life. The big thing here is the mirror that she's holding. So what does a mirror do? A mirror shows you your reflection. It shows you the truth. You know, you can think that you have, I don't know, let's go different color eyes. You can think that you've got purple eyes, but if you look in the mirror, you're going to see the truth. And it is about seeing the truth, and it is about understanding the truth, not about somebody else, not about a situation, but about yourself. But it's also, the High Priestess is also about just trusting and believing in yourself and understanding your intuition and the reason and the purpose behind your actions. So that is the situation, all right? That is the situation. I have got the Field Tarot here, which we're going to use to understand the situation. So I'm going to categorize, and I know that's probably a weird phrase, but I'm going to categorize our situation. And I say our situation because High Priestess, you know. I'm going to categorize our situation as one of developing intuition, understanding the things that happen inside of us as far as our thoughts and ideas and inspirations go, and just working through whatever it is that's happening within us. Okay. So let's give the cards a little bit of a shuffle, and the spread that I'm working with today is a 6-card spread, which means I'm going to draw 6 cards, and I'm going to take you through the 6 cards to understand our situation around intuition, our inner ideas, inner thoughts, and inner inspirations that are taking place within us. Right, cutting the deck over there, and I'm just going to lay out 6 cards. Let's see if I can get it nice and neat. There is a little bit of glare, but it's not so bad when I turn the card over, so just bear with me around that. These cards, thankfully, are not glossy, and because the backs of the cards are quite light, you can see the glare, but when you use a bit of color, the glare is not so bad. All right, starting off with our card number 1. So this is the situation that we're gaining clarity on. This is that situation from your point of view. So let's have a look and see your point of view around your intuition. You know what? I can't make this stuff up, friends. I can't. I honestly cannot make this stuff up. And we've been like, woo, having a bit of a blush here. Honestly, you know, I know I say that a lot, and a lot of people who do these kind of, I'm going to call them YouTube readings, you know, a lot of it is orchestrated and played out and, you know, made for drama, whatever. But I know mine is just, it is what it is. And I'm not clever enough to make this stuff up, honestly. So we have got our beautiful Queen of Cups, and her key phrase is intuition. So from your point of view, right, because that's what this question, or that's what this position in the spread is, the situation from your point of view. Queen of Cups, she is about trusting and believing in her intuition. She relies on her intuition. She trusts her intuition. So from your point of view, you're actually feeling quite confident in your own abilities, quite confident in your own self. But obviously, if you've come here, you're not feeling so confident. There may be parts of yourself or certain situations that you may want to develop, or you may want to explore, or you may want to open up a little bit more. or maybe there's certain things that you don't understand, because Queen of Cups, she loves everybody. She's unconditional in what she gives and what she does and what she says. Her love that she gives to others is completely unconditional. And when people come to her for help and guidance, she's there. She never turns anybody away. She doesn't know how to say no to anybody. Her whole existence is about being of service to other people. Can she sometimes be little fox-like? Of course she can. Of course she can, especially if it's to help somebody else. So let's put that into a situation. So if somebody comes to her for a little bit of guidance, a little bit of help, and she knows that in order to help them, she needs somebody else to relieve something, give something, or to produce something, that's when the little fox will come out, and that's when she can be a little bit foxy in getting people to help her. Okay, does she do it with bad intentions? Of course not. She doesn't have any bad intentions, but she's very thoughtful, she's very emotional, she's very introspective. Okay, so this is exactly Queen of Cups energy for you with the High Priestess. This is Spirit saying to you, you've got to recognize that you are an emotional, sensitive, I'm hearing that word, you are a sensitive being, and we've got to recognize that from your perspective you may be feeling heightened intuition, heightened senses, heightened feelings around various situations and circumstances. Our next card across, so that was from your point of view, and this is from the other point of view. And the other point of view could be other people, it could be spirit, it could be just the other side of the table. So let's have a look and see the other point of view around your current situation. And we have generosity. Of course we do. Putting other people first, giving to others constantly, and always being mindful and aware of everybody else's needs, wants, and desires. So, friends, let's have a look at what we've got here. I'm loving this. Okay, so situation is about your intuition, developing your intuition, growing your intuition, most importantly, trusting your intuition. From your point of view, you're questioning your ability, you're questioning yourself, and you're saying, is this all that there is? And sometimes when I do bad, I'm talking about the little fox, sometimes when I do bad, am I still doing good? Like where is the line? Where is the angle? And here, from other people's point of view, everybody living spirit, everybody sees you as somebody who just gives and gives and gives. Now, this particular generosity card, the Six of Discs, it comes with a little bit of a warning of saying to you, be mindful that what you're giving is actually what is needed. And I think this is spirit saying to you, you've got to start trusting your own intuition a little bit more. So if somebody comes to you and says, I need help with school homework, and I'm just picking school homework, all right, just as a random example. If you've got your child, another child, a niece, a nephew, anybody who comes to you and says, I need help with homework, instead of sitting there and doing it for them, maybe you need to reevaluate the situation and say, right, I will help you, absolutely, but I'm not doing it for you. Okay, I will help you find the answers. I will help you understand the question. I will help you formulate it in a way that is necessary, but I'm not doing it for you. And understanding, that's where the fox comes in, because the fox is the one who will ask you questions to help you understand your outcome and your target and what it is that you need to do, instead of just being the person who gives and gives and gives and gives and gives, because then people start taking advantage of you. And maybe the way that she's sitting there is maybe she has suddenly understood with the book of knowledge. Maybe she suddenly understood that people are taking advantage of her. Okay, maybe she suddenly understood that people are just taking and taking and taking, and maybe that's exactly why you are here, because you're starting to notice in your own experience and in your own life, there's too much take and not enough give. And this is the reality of your situation. Okay. Let's go into card number 3, position number 3 in our Tarot Spirit, which is a dominant factor at play in your life at the moment in this situation. So a dominant factor in the situation at the moment, and here we have the Star card, which is the card of hope and the card of renewal. And I love that, because this is Spirit confirming for every single one of you that watching right now who chose this particular reading. This is Spirit confirming that it's not all lost, that it's not all, it's not too late. It's not too far gone. This is Spirit confirming that there is hope, that the situation will improve and that you will improve and that you will learn to be stronger. Okay, so the Star card is the card of hope. So what is a dominant factor? I said the glare wouldn't be too bad, and then on this particular card, it is bad. So I do apologize for that, but you can see the card. Let's do that a little bit. Then at least we can see her pretty fiery hair. So the star card, as far as a dominant factor goes, it's about you recognizing that as long as you are constantly replenishing your own energies, taking care of yourself and holding hope for positive outcomes, you're going to do exactly that, and it's all going to be okay. So I think that's wonderful. And I like the fact that it's arrived in the dominant factor, because it is absolutely confirmation from spirit that you're doing good, that you're doing well, and that everything is going to work out as it needs to. Okay, here what we have now with card number 4, position number 4, is a hidden truth or obstacle that you're working through right now. This is something that you probably knew about, but this is something that you don't. And what we have here is the 7 of Cups. Choices. Of course, yes. Of course, yes. So the 7 of Cups, I'm loving how we've got the as above, so below, and I'm loving how there's, again, mirror images, but different. So night and day and night, all of those kind of things. And choices can be quite difficult, especially when you're sensitive, especially when you're intuitive, especially when you're so connected to everybody else's needs, wants, and desires around you. This whole choices thing can be a little bit overwhelming, because what happens if you make the wrong choice? What happens if you don't like the choices? What happens if you haven't got the patience or the time to wait for another choice? Or like there's so many kind of what if scenarios. But I think this choices here, as far as a hidden truth or obstacle goes, is making you realize that you do not have to settle and accept what is there at the moment. You don't have to settle and accept anything. You have to, if you have a feeling in your soul that there's more, that there's better, that you should carry on, then do so. Okay, you need to start trusting your intuition. I'm going to sneeze. I've got such an energy around my face at the moment, and it always seems to be when I put the record camera on. I think it's because of conversations with spirit. That spirit's like, really, camera's on, we need to be talking. But it's always around my nose. I get so itchy. All right, going back to our choices. Sorry, sidetracked. Going back to our choices, it's recognizing that you always do have choice. You have to recognize your sensitivity, recognize your intuition, recognize that spirit are pushing and prompting you to do more, to share more, to give more, to have more, to be more. And it's constantly growing and evolving, and it's constantly improving. But you have choices, and don't ever feel like you don't. Again, she's sitting here feeling, it almost looks like she's a little bit deflated, isn't it? Defeated almost. It almost looks like she's sort of like, oh, I don't know if I want to do that, or I don't know, like she just seems to be not all that enthusiastic and happy. Unlike our Queen of Cups, who is really, hold them in the right place, living her best life. She looks amazing. She's feeling absolutely fabulous. So I think this is spirit just confirming for you that you do have choices, that you don't have to settle for anything that isn't amazing, or settle for anything that isn't truly wonderful in your life. And that is a hidden truth or obstacle that you need to understand for yourself. Okay, position number 5 in our tarot spread today is, what do you need to know and understand right now? And we have got the 8 of Wands, which is change and movement. So the movement is happening, progress is happening, evolution is happening. Okay, so what spirit is saying to you, what do you need to know and understand right now, is that nothing is constant. And you've got to know this. You've got to trust this. You've got to allow your intuition to guide you through that, and understanding that nothing is ever going to stay the same, and nothing is ever constant. The situation is changing. You are changing. Everything is changing. Your intuition is growing. Your sensitivity is growing because of this renewal, this growth, and this understanding that we have. And I think that's amazing. I really do. I think that's absolutely amazing. But I am going to say to you, based on all the cards that we've got on display here, it's about starting to learn to trust yourself. Learning to trust yourself, learning to be okay with who and whatever you are, and not putting unnecessary pressure or expectations on yourself, and knowing that you've got changes, choices, and opportunities to improve for your benefit, and not necessarily for everybody else's. Okay, and finally, our final card, it's irritating me that one's got a bit of a glare. Our final card here is the best way for you to proceed from now. So based on your current situation, based on what it is that you need clarity on, what is the best way for you to proceed right now? So I love this. It's about letting go. I love this. Destitution. Destitution, 5 of discs. It's about letting go. It's about recognizing that some things you don't need in your life, and it's okay. It's okay to just let it go. It's okay to not have. It really is. It's okay to not have, because when you're the kind of intuitive person that you are, when you have, I'm going to throw a thing at you here. When you are a light worker, and when you are somebody who brings light to situations, to circumstance, to other people, to yourself, when you have given your life, when your soul's purpose is to illuminate and to light up for other people, sometimes you have to let go of things that you think you want, that you thought you want, but actually they don't serve a purpose. They don't serve a function. So destitution is telling you it's okay to let go. And that's where these choices come in. And that is also where this beautiful star card comes in. Because look at her. I want you to notice that she, if you didn't notice earlier, that she's naked. That she has nothing protecting her, covering her, nothing containing her, that she is completely transparent, completely vulnerable, completely exposed, completely okay with herself, and beautiful. I mean, not just because she's got a beautiful body on her, but she's not trying to cover up. She's not trying to hold back. She's just saying, you know what, there's something bigger at play here, and I'm prepared to go without if it means that I can achieve the things that I need to achieve. And I think for each one of us, I'm certainly not encouraging any of you to walk around the streets naked, okay? Can I just please make certain that you understand me there? But it's about sometimes recognizing in life that we don't have to have it all. We don't have to hold on to absolutely everything. It's about recognizing the give and the take. It's about recognizing what you have within you, and that sometimes external physical things don't actually matter. No amount of money in the world is going to buy happiness. It can buy things that will bring you temporary happiness, absolutely, of course. But there is no amount of money in the world that can make you happy. How many people that have got quite a lot of money, quite a lot of big home, fancy car, fancy clothes, living what we think is the best life, but they're lonely and they're unhappy in their souls. They're in a loveless marriage or whatever their situation. How many people do you know that don't have money but are happy and content with themselves, are in a beautiful relationship that brings them joy, even though they can't buy caviar and champagne every night? So it's about this yin and yang, give and take, isn't it? And I think where you are in your life right now is trying to decide and trying to determine, what does happiness mean? What does happiness mean? Not what does it mean to society? What does it mean to your culture? What does it mean to your family? No. What does it mean to you? And I think sometimes we have to let go, and sometimes we have to go without in order. So look what she's done. She's put all her most prized possessions in a black garbage bag. She's saying, you know what? That stuff doesn't make me happy. I'm going to toss it out. I'm going to throw it away. I'm not holding on to anything that doesn't actually bring me joy, that doesn't actually make me happy. And she looks like she's a little bit concerned and a little bit worried, but you know what? She knows in her heart of hearts that it's the right thing to do. And again, this little kitty cat. I mean, I just love this little kitty cat, first of all. Such an animal. Such an animal lover. I forgot that word. But that little kitty cat who is not worried about anything that's going on around him. That little kitty cat is just like, oh, there is something there. Let me catch it. I want to play. Being happy and content in the moment, regardless of what we have or what we don't have. And I think, friends, that's the most important thing for you. All right. I hope this helps you to gain some clarity in your life. I hope this helps you to understand yourself a little bit better and to understand your situation and your circumstance a little bit better, so that you can live the life that you deserve and the life that you want, and a life of happiness. So friends, as always, love and blessings from my heart to yours. And until we connect again, take care.